All right.
We are back. It's your girls.
We are back.
We are your hosts.
It's
I'm Kiyoko.
Kiyoko.
And
I'm Sakura.
this week we are going to talk about mixed skin.
Yeah, on the Hafu It. Which is the podcast you're listening to. It is the Hafu It.
We almost did it. We almost had it perfect.
we almost got it. I think that was perfect. But yeah, this week we're going to be talking about what it's like having mixed skin.
Let's get into it.
That gorgeous mixed skin. So yeah, I mean, I guess we should start at the beginning.
Where it
the
all
origin
began.
Story. Where it all began. Yeah. I've had such like an interesting relationship with skin because skin is such a hyper focus in the Asian community. And I've always had really bad skin. So initially when I was growing up, I had the nicest skin, like the clearest, like most beautiful skin. Then as soon as any sort of like hormone started like peeking its head in my body, it was like full acne head to toe. Like I had been dipped in a vat of acne. I'm kidding you not. It was so bad. So I had, a very negative relationship with skin, I would say up until this point in my life. But yeah, how was your relationship with your skin as a child?
I'd say traumatizing would be like a great way to like put it.
Which I think is like most people's experience.
That's true. That's fair.
But How was
so
it
my
for
dad
you?
had cystic acne when he was growing up. So when I hit puberty, which I hit pretty early on, compared to a lot of the other girls in my class, but when I hit puberty, it was suddenly immediately it was like my face was the surface of Mars and I just had like craters everywhere. I had like so many zits. Like not all of them were like fun and like whiteheads that you could pop and like have fun with. It was like they were like 10 layers
Deep.
of skin below and like just not.
Yes,
They were
at the bone.
They were
coming
riding
out of the bone.
their free ticket on my face. Like it was an amusement park.
Oh God.
But
and was it everywhere, or was your cystic acne located to like a certain region?
I think for the most part, and this is pretty common, I think in like preteens or teens, it was mostly in just the T-zone. But I got like pimples on my chin. As I like got a little bit older, it started like on my back and like stuff like that. Like,
we
on
love
like my
that.
chest
Yes.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it was all
gorgeous.
Did you ever get one too that was like in the crevice, like in your nose, like right above your nostril, and it was like in the corner?
Oh,
where you can't pop it.
Oh, name a crevice on your body, and I have had a pimple in it. I'm not lying to you. I've had pimples literally anywhere on my body. But yeah, I've had one in the crevice of my nose, and it's like horrifying. You like cannot pop those ones
to it
because you like can't get the leverage.
There on
you like can't get
she found
at
out
it.
after our teenage
Truly.
habits of popping our own pimples came to be.
Yes,
they figured it out and they found spots on our bodies that we couldn't get to them. It was a bad time. I got one once
it's
in
a bad time.
Like grade 8 that was like directly on the tip of my nose, like Rudolph, and it was gigantic.
Oh, I was just about to say, yes, she was the red-nosed reindeer. It was Christmas. It was Christmas every day for like a
but
month.
not in like a happy, fun way. Yeah.
No.
We went on like this school trip and it formed like on the bus ride to Montreal because I grew up in Toronto. So we were taking like a middle school trip to Montreal. And I just like suddenly had this like
it formed pimple on the way, the change of climate. Your nose was like,
and it was like
no.
all the way underneath my skin, so it wasn't like a fun one that I could pop either. And so it just like became this like red bubble like on the point of my nose, so it really was like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. So it was a bad time.
And you can't, like, even if you were to put makeup on something like that, it's like the most prominent thing off of your face.
I was also
like,
so like anti-makeup as like a preteen, like early teen.
This is what
you
I'm
would never have
saying.
caught me dead, like even trying to conceal it. Although I think that I would have, like, if I could go back in time, I would like shake myself and be like, "You're gonna put some concealer on that." Just
You're
this
like,
one
just
time.
this one time. Every time on that trip that you were talking to someone, you would see their eyes like go down slightly into like your nose. You're always like,
I was like, "Don't look at me." Yeah, no,
truly.
I think...
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I think
no, go.
If anyone was triggered by my cystic acne when it formed, it was my dad, because he was reliving the dark days. He got like hella bullied because my dad was like 300 pounds in high school, so he was like very heavy. He had cystic acne. He was like a real like loser by like the 80s definition of the word, which we know he was badass. And then he joined the football team and he lost a bunch of weight, but like
I was like, a loser to who?
To the stupid kids in school. But yeah, he got like hella teased for it. So I think I remember just like feeling the like the trauma like radiating off of him as soon as he like saw like my first breakout, and he was just like
a single tear like rolled down his face.
Truly, he like went into full like fix it mode and was trying to like get me to try all these different like face products that were out at the time.
He threw
no, literally
Proactiv
I did go through Proactiv.
Spectro acne gel. He like dumped it on you.
We did everything.
Like, not my child.
We did
not again, the curse.
We did everything short of like dry ice on my face, which is what he did to get rid of his cystic acne, because that was a thing back in like the 80s.
I don't think
that was what they did. Yeah, that was what they did.
No, I'm sure it's what they did, but I don't know.
No, that's not something that you do.
Because it kills the skin. That's what you do for like warts. Dead skin. You like murder the skin.
Yeah. So
we love dead skin. Better dead
him
than
telling me as a kid, and I used to like cry and like beg him to let me get my face like dry iced. And he was like,
just like press the whole thing.
I was like, you can get it. You can
get
get dry ice just from work. Just like go get me some dry ice. And
he was like, I promise you that's not how it works.
Well, he was like, we'll just like, we can wait and like you can make a decision later in life. And I was like, but it's affecting me now. But obviously I'm glad that we didn't go that route. My dad was like pretty firm on not letting me do that.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Those are my early years.
Yeah. Gorgeous. Yeah, I mean, I was like quite heavy as like a kid as well, and had like really bad acne. My cystic acne started kind of like along my hairline by my temple and would run down the side of my face, and then down the side of my neck, like to my collarbone, and then along my jawline. It almost looked like, I always said it almost looked like kind of like alien, like makeup. It looked like sci-fi alien makeup. But at least it was like kind of easily hid with my hair, which might have been contributing to the breakouts, because I like had really oily hair as a kid. But everything on my face, luckily, for the most part, was just like a normal like whitehead pimples. It was just like in such large clusters. I would never just get one. I would get like 20.
All in one place,
Yeah. All my cheeks, all my forehead, were just like whitehead patches. I used to do this thing in class. This might be gross, I'm sorry. But I used to do this thing where I would take a sheet of paper and I would try to like run it like along my skin, but because I had so many pimples, I like couldn't. But I just always had this fantasy of being able to like run something along my face and not have it like hit like 500,000 bumps. And again, I started getting pimples, like I had full-blown acne for sure by like grade 5. By grade 6, it was super bad. By grade 7, my parents were like bringing me to doctors. They were like, what is happening? Because both my sister and my brother had acne too, but it was just like normal teen acne, I was like Freddy Krueger.
Right, but by comparison.
Like, truly.
Yeah.
I was...
I understand.
Like, truly. By comparison, no, in actuality.
Just on its own. Like no comparison
literally.
required.
Yeah. Truly, they kept me in the boiler room. Like, it was a whole thing.
But
I survived.
For you. I hate that for you, but yeah, I love that we survived.
Yeah.
Did you like...
What kind of...
No, you do it.
Oh.
No.
No, it's your turn to ask
I like
a
your
question.
questions.
So, with you dealing with all of like the skin problems that you had, what was kind of like your intro into skincare, and then what kind of products do you remember using initially, or were just kind of a staple throughout your youth?
So because my dad was so triggered by the potential of me going through what he went through, he got me immediately on Proactive, because at the time that was what.
Like what? Like at what age?
Like 11
You're like 6
or 12. Yeah, probably around that. Maybe like.
That's...
Yeah, it hit full throttle. I got my period when I was like 10.
You're like, let's be. Yeah. She was a woman like...
immediately.
She entered a woman. Mother Nature slapped her across her face and was like, "You are a woman." You hit the double digits, and it was game over.
Yeah.
It was the best.
Yeah.
They were the worst of times.
My family was like not very well off, like financially. I'd say that like between my two parents, my dad was better off. So even the prospect of like getting Proactive was like a big deal, because to us that was like a big expense to get something like that, and I didn't care enough, really. Like, I had kind of like resigned myself to being this kid. I think it was like before I learned to like be embarrassed by puberty, because it was like the very beginning, right? So I was like still this kid where like when I got my period, I like literally ran around and like told everybody like the day that it happened. I was like, listen up, everyone.
That's because you're an icon. That's because you're a legend. Like... You went to every boy and you were like, guess what the fuck happened to me? At the time,
like all of my friends were guys. So yeah, I was like, listen up, everyone. Listen up, y'all. I've got my period, bitch. I'm starting to bleed from my motherfucking vagina. Here we go.
Yeah. And I'm making it everyone's business. Now you all know.
Like,
it was Good Morning Baltimore, but it was about your period.
So when the acne started to come, I wasn't quite like... I wasn't embarrassed really yet about any of it, but my dad like was making a really big deal about it. It was important to him that I took care of it.
And isn't that interesting? Like, you probably didn't care about it because society hadn't told you yet that it is something that you need to care about. So I wonder, like, as much as we love your dad, I wonder, like, how your relationship would have been with it if your dad had been, like, chill and not, like,
I try to think, though, because I'm like, at
panicked.
some point, somebody else would have shamed me for it. And, like... So I'm like,
for sure.
If I had to choose who was going to traumatize me over my own skincare, I'd rather it be my father. So yeah, but it is like a
gorgeous.
Good point.
We love
to think
picking
about.
who gives us our trauma.
Like, especially with my little sister. I'm like, sometimes right now I'm like, you know, there are a lot of things that she doesn't know to like be careful about.
With O or with M?
Just in general. Oh, Maya.
In general.
Maya. Yeah.
The youngest.
There's like lots of things like
with O or with
like,
M. You were like, what the fuck? You were like, who? I don't know if we want to like say like names on here. So
I've
like
named
O or
her
M.
before. But yeah,
gorgeous.
like with Maya, like kids like running around naked, right? But you get to a certain age where you can't be running around in a park naked. And so it's like you get to that age where you kind of have to find a delicate way to tell your kids, like, sorry, you can't be, like, whipping out your hoo-hoo, like, on the swing with these, like, strange kids in the park. Without, like, making them ashamed about their bodies, right? So same deal, same. But back on track, I'll rewind just slightly, but yeah. So yeah, Proactive was like a whole thing, but I think that because my dad like saw it and was like he knew what to do at least. So even though it was something that he was triggered by, he was like immediate like fix it mode. So he was like, okay, no worries about the cost, like we're gonna get the whole Proactive kit. And like back then too, like Proactive was something
which was a big deal.
Yeah. It was like on TV.
You couldn't buy it in stores.
You had to like call.
Yeah, you had to like order it. I think they started getting mall kiosks maybe in like the later 2000s, but back in the day, yeah, you had to like order it and like spend the money to get it shipped to you.
It was like a whole ordeal. And then like my dad had somebody like explain to me how to do, because they had them labeled by steps, like all the Proactive things. And like I remember I had my favorite products were like the toner, which I believe was like step 2, and then there was like this mask that you were only supposed to use like twice a week, but I loved it and I hated every other product. So I secretly would like only use the toner and only use the mask, because with the toner, the toner is meant to like balance out the pH like of your skin, like to prep it for whatever you're going to put on it after. But for me, when I was growing up, I was like, oh, I don't remember what put this idea into my head, but I was like, oh, like I have lots of acne because I have oily skin. So it became like a really early like notion in my head that to fix my skin, I had to make it not oily. And so when I was using the toner, it felt nice because it would strip all of the oil off of my face. Like,
and your skin would feel like
and
tight
it was nice
after.
and it was like almost addictive, like to have that clean feeling. But obviously as an adult now, I'm like, there's no way that you can just like put toner on your face and be like, I'm done.
Especially toner that's meant for like that purpose.
So
like just
bad.
stripping
and, like,
everything off of your skin.
So that was like a whole thing. And then I think eventually my dad found out that I was only using the 2 products. And I insisted that this was okay. And he was like, it's not. And he was like, and if you're not going to like properly clean your face, then like I'm not going to buy this for you anymore. And I was like, okay. But that was like fair, right? Like good on him for being like, yeah, like you can't like half-ass your skincare routine. And my mom, on the other hand, worked with Johnson & Johnson. For you like non-Canadians, I'm not sure if you know what Johnson & Johnson is, but in Canada they own like a bunch of brands like Neutrogena and Aveeno and stuff like that. And again, if you're not Canadian, I'm not sure that you'll know what Neutrogena or Aveeno is. Those are very like Canadian products. But anyway, they were like
I think they for sure have Neutrogena.
But some people are like not from the States. Like some of you are in Japan.
That's true.
There is Proactive here in Japan, so I thought that was kind of funny. Anyway, so yeah, my mom worked at Johnson & Johnson's when I was growing up, so she always had like very easy access to like Neutrogena and Aveeno products. And like for those who don't know, like Neutrogena is like really not like, it's not great. It's not good.
It's not it.
But also like with regards to like having mixed skin and growing up with mixed parenting. And I lived with my Caucasian mother. So like her skin is very different from mine. But I remember growing up and her telling me that her skin was also extremely greasy. Actually, maybe that's where I got that idea from, that my skin was so oily and therefore it only mattered that I stripped the oils from my skin, because that's what she would do. And I'm not saying that my mom has good skin, right? Because she doesn't. But she never had like cystic acne or anything like that. Like she didn't have the same issues that like my dad did. And so for her, she would like, and obviously again, like we were not financially well off by any means. So she would bring home like a bunch of free products like from Neutrogena that had those like cleansing beads. Remember like the cleaning products with the cleansing beads?
Oh no.
Yeah.
The citrus like morning like burst or whatever.
Yeah, so I used to like do that, but I was also so lazy. Like I don't know, like as a teenager I was so fucking lazy. There was no like getting me on any kind of like skincare routine, but the products that were available to me were Neutrogena or like hand soap. And I remember that for a while I was convinced that hand soap was like the best thing ever for my skin because it was oily and the hand soap got rid of all of that. So it just made me feel like clean and my skin tight.
Because I was gonna say, if you were using like an Aveeno
no, it was like Dove
bar that's like oat, and you're like, no, it like,
it was like Irish Spring or like Dove or like
Irish Spring needs to be like,
to be fair,
banned.
Irish Spring
like,
came
truly.
from my dad. My dad's like favorite bar of soap was Irish Spring.
It destroys your skin. Your skin feels so rough after, like, as you're like,
listen, teenage Kiyoko thought that equated to like having that was the one, was having like no sheen or anything like that. Like, yeah.
Well, honestly, when you go into the drugstore, especially back in the day, anything that was marketed towards people who have problem skin was oil-free, mattifying, drying. Like, everything was about like drying your skin out, which sometimes maybe like works, but if your skin is pumping out oil, it's pumping out oil for a reason. It's trying to hydrate your skin. So by you using these like products that we were taught to use, you're just further stripping your skin, further making your skin have to pump out
and like
more
overproducing those oils.
And then you're just clogging the shit out of your pores.
Yeah.
And I used those type of systems for years. I got onto like a 3-step skincare system really, really early on. I was always into makeup and beauty and stuff like that. So I went on to 3-step skincare systems probably like in grade 7 or 8, but they were all mattifying, drying, oil-free. So I was doing nothing to my skin. If anything, I was making my skin worse. I did Proactive.
Yes.
I know the products you're talking about, especially the mask. The mask was legit, truly. It was the one that came in the tube, right?
It was like very creamy.
Yeah.
Very clay.
Yes. Yeah, I used it more as like a spot treatment on like my spots. I didn't do it as like a full mask over areas, but I used it like every single day, which I don't think you were supposed to. But yeah, I did everything. Nothing helped. Proactive definitely didn't help. I ended up having to go to a doctor and get like actual like medical treatments done. Like actual nothing like invasive, but I got several chemical peels. I got several microdermabrasions. I had several blue light treatments. Like lots of other things. I just tried like everything that I could. Nothing helped whatsoever. But I noticed in my teen years, I started switching out of drugstore makeup and started using all natural makeup, or like as close to all natural makeup as I could find. And that's when I noticed my skin started changing, was when I abandoned the acne specific stuff and just went for like natural, fragrance free, like organic stuff that literally have no ingredients that are designated to fighting acne, but for some reason made my skin a million times better. It helped that I had all those procedures done for sure, but yeah, switching over to just cleaner, better skincare definitely helped.
Yeah, I think I had completely forgotten about the way that media was talking about skincare when we were growing up. Like, it was like unacceptable to have pimples or any kind of like acne or scars on your face or anything like that. That's just like a natural part of puberty. And so even if I didn't have like, you know, my dad or my friends in school like shaming me about my acne, it would have come from watching TV, from watching those beautiful commercials with like Jennifer Aniston and her like perfect smooth skin with the Neutrogena product that like
everyone's
sold it.
Perfect smooth skin. Yeah. I could not understand why my skin didn't look like everyone else's. Because not everyone, like everyone has breakouts. Everyone has like kind of like little cluster breakouts, but to have like permanent breakouts, so you never are not
ends.
with like a full acne breakout. Exactly. That's like a completely different situation. My friends would like, and fair enough, they're allowed to feel how they feel. But yeah, my friends would be like devastated over like a single pimple for like the entire day. That is all that they would talk about. And I would like go to the bathroom and like look at myself in the mirror and be like, okay, well, I have like 500,000 of those on my face.
So you're like, what does that say about me?
Cool. I'm like, so if you're disgusting with your one, like, what does that say about me? Like, I'm a literal monster.
Also, like being a teenager or preteen and like going through puberty at all is already like a really awkward like stage in your life. Like you're going through body changes, you're growing hair where you've never had hair before, you're gaining weight in places that you didn't know that you could gain weight in. And like you're gaining all these things and growing in these places at different rates and different times than other people in your class. So like that's when you start to just like have all of these things that are now very new to you, and therefore you're insecure about them. And then you have the media and, you know, your traumatized parents who are trying to help you, but they're just kind of like adding to the embarrassment that comes with all of puberty. And then you add on to that all of the like shit that comes with like acne is something that just like is on your body, like it's visible, there's nothing that you can really do about it. And then, you know, I guess that's where we could get into like a really long conversation about like capitalism and like the advertising of like makeup and stuff, because I do remember that like one of my insecurities was like having like shiny skin, which now I'm like I live for like as an adult, because I'm like, yes,
dewy skin is like where it's, but yes, especially being in Asia, let's be real.
But then like being a kid, I the only makeup that I would wear was like this cheap like powder, and I would powder my face every day, and it was like powder foundation.
You would beat that face down,
it was like powder foundation, so it was like
you would be
the
baking.
Worst fucking shit.
You're baking at like 12.
It was the worst shit. It would come off obviously like all over everything, like your clothing, like whatever. And yeah, it was just like, it was a bad time being a teenager. I have all these pictures, like, because I got Facebook when I was like 12, I think. So I have all these pictures on Facebook, either from me posting them or from like my family tagging me in like family photos and shit like that, or photos that they took of me when I was visiting. And I like can't look at like I couldn't look at them for a long time, because it's like you can just see how like sad like and how embarrassed and like uncomfortable I was like in my body. Like I was so ashamed to, and we've talked about this in our mixed hair podcast episode, but like I was so ashamed of like my natural hair texture. And it was before I was like energetic enough to start like straightening it every day, which we talked about in that episode as well. So my hair was like always tied up in like this ponytail, and it was like a low ponytail. So it's like the epitome of like being an uncomfortable teenager who just like
that's when you know when that ponytail's down at the nape, like right down at the bottom.
And you're wearing like oversized clothing. And like I went through a phase too, like a long phase where I refused to wear clothing that like had a specific like logo on it. Like I didn't want to be that kid who wore like what was popular at the time. It was like Abercrombie and Finch, which first of all like we couldn't afford, but it was like Aeropostale or American Eagle even, and stuff like that.
Oh my god,
Aeropostale.
I can't. And American Apparel.
Yes, American Apparel.
American Eagle. American Apparel in the mid-thousands.
Thing.
People were losing their minds over it, and it was so expensive, because fair enough, it's made not with sweatshops, so it like it has to be more expensive, but it's like horrible clothing regardless.
And it was just bad too. Because then like I don't know. That. Like I grew up in a neighborhood too where like there was a distinct difference between the kids who had money and the kids who did not have money. And that was like a part of it too, right? So you're ashamed of your body as a teenager growing up. You're ashamed of your financial situation, like everything about yourself. So man, if you're a teenager listening to this, like,
and
It's it's okay.
Like love. We're sending
Yeah.
you love. We're sending
I
you
feel
healing
you.
energy.
I really I would never wish to go
It's,
back to that time in my life with the same mentality.
but it's like
Yeah.
who's
If I
oh
could go back now with
totally.
my like
Oh
current
yeah. Do you
mentality,
want to
oh, I would like rock that
yeah.
school.
But I'm like I would hate to be just in that
Yes.
time.
Yeah.
I would hate to go
To
back
have
to
to
the
go through all of
thousands.
that
Yeah,
again.
I'm good. If I could relive high school, but high
Yeah.
school now, I was a high school student in
Yeah.
2022, grade
Yeah.
10.
Yeah.
Let's do
That's not to like
this. Do you know what I'm
discredit
saying?
like that there's still like a lot of issues that
Oh,
like
for
now,
sure.
but yeah, I
Oh my
think
God.
like we've grown so much obviously like as people, and
Yeah.
we're so much more comfortable because of too like we've taught ourselves how to take care of these things now, like away from the influence of the media, away from like the expectations of society. Like you and I have taught ourselves how to deal with like our skincare, how to deal with our hair, like how to style ourselves and how to love and accept our bodies, even though that's a constant, that's a constant effort that's being put into stuff like that. So, yeah.
Truly. Well, I'm even like trying to do this like more kind of like body neutrality thing where I'm neither like my body is neither like negative nor positive. It just
Yeah.
like is, you know? And it's beautiful
Yeah.
how it is. And if that in its way leads to like body positivity, then sure. But yeah, I just want to like be like more just like whatever about
Yeah.
it. Like, you know?
So when did skincare like take a turn for you? Like when were you like, okay, let's get this shit in gear? Like you mentioned that you started using like more natural makeup products and stuff like that. But like when
Yeah.
were like you had like a 3-step routine? When did that become like, something that you were like, I really need to put more effort into this? How did you learn about it?
Yeah.
How did you educate yourself?
Yeah, probably when I went to makeup school. So when I graduated high school, I went to makeup school, and a large portion of the beginning of makeup school is learning about the skin, how the skin works, how you should treat the skin, how to make sure that the skin is in the like most optimal condition for you to use as a canvas. So learning all of that and having different brand reps come in. We had like a Vichy brand rep, a Biotherm, like a bunch of more kind of like Canadian brands come in and chat with us about skincare. So yeah, I just learned so much. So kind of like my late teens, I would say like 1920s when I transitioned from using all natural to using like super high end. Your girl got super bougie. I was like living in Vancouver. I was a makeup artist. I had tons of friends who worked at department stores. So I just started accumulating very expensive, very bougie skincare. So yeah, I think probably my like bougie skincare phase was incredibly short-lived. I would say just as I was like a makeup artist working at MAC for like 2.5 years, I would say that portion of time I was into like very expensive, very, very like high-end skincare. And then I think as I went into the hair industry, I started phasing back into using more all-natural skincare. And it's definitely larger than a 3-step
Yes.
system now. I would say my skincare system, like I have two
Yes.
different. I have my morning and my evening. I would say each one is at least like at least a 5-step skincare routine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same.
Which is, yeah. It's interesting. For me, my skincare routines are almost like self
Yes.
care.
100%.
I actually, yeah, I love putting my hair up and like doing my full skincare routine. Like, yeah, it makes me, I look forward to it. It's like a very fun part of my evening.
It's a very like mindless process once you kind of get your routine in place, and you totally feel so much better, and especially once you realize like what a difference it makes. to really take care of your skin and to know what works and what doesn't work.
Totally.
It's just so rewarding. Like, no matter how fucked up I am, like, emotionally, or, like, if I was drinking that day, like, that night, I still will, like, do my sheet mask. Like, I'll still do my entire skincare routine, no matter how, like, out of my mind I am, just because I know that I feel so much better when I do it. It's like a treat.
Totally. Also, I think before, because I had permanently bad skin, I never saw any benefits or any results to any of the products that I was using. But now that I don't have acne, knock on wood, it never comes back. Now that I'm not dealing with acne, I'm actually getting to see what products can actually do for my skin. And that makes me really excited to use products too.
Yeah, I think, like...
Especially now, because products are so much better than they were in the 2000s. So now you actually kind of get more clinical results.
And there's so much more, like, exposure to, like, the products that you should be using.
Oh, so much more knowledge.
There's so many more, like, brave people out there on social media who are, like, showing what their skin really looks like.
My God.
And, like...
Well, in YouTube...
Yeah.
Having access to, like, dermatologists who have YouTube channels, I'm like, oh, shit. Yeah. Oh, my God. And having access just to, like, Asian beauty influencers. No, I had no Asian dermatologist or, like, skin person ever be available to me, especially where I was growing up. So, yeah, it was a bunch of people who, like, because there were no Asians in general in, like, the town that I grew up in. So they don't work with ethnic skin regardless. So, yeah, I had a bunch of, like, blonde white people being like, like, what are we supposed to do with this person's skin? I live.
Yeah, I think you touched on a really good point, too, where, like, you said that you kind of got to a point where you were like, I don't know if anything is going to work. I don't think that anything is effective. Like, kind of getting to a place where you're just like, I don't see results. I think it's fake. Like, getting to, like, a point where you just kind of give up on stuff like that. And I was definitely there for, like, probably, like, most of my life, where after, like, Proactive and after, like, becoming a teenager, I just kind of, like, accepted that things were the way that they were, and just kind of trusted that once I got to a certain age that, like, it would start to even itself out. And I think when I moved from Toronto to Vancouver, my skin had, like, calmed down significantly. I was still, like, having breakouts and stuff like that, but it wasn't, like, quite as bad as when I was a teenager. So I didn't care as much. And again, like, I've never been, like, a makeup person really. And then I think, like, 5 years ago, I started to get more into makeup, and I don't, like, regret it necessarily, because I do, like, love makeup. Like, I think it's so beautiful and artful, and, like, it's kind of fun. Like, I found the same kind of, like, peace with, like, my makeup routine every morning that I now find with, like, my skincare routine. But yeah, I think, like, eventually my frustration with, like, not being able to find any products that worked for my skin, the mentality that was once like, oh, like, it doesn't matter what I do, it's never gonna be better, like, turned into, oh, I'll just wear, like, the thickest possible foundation. Like, I'll just wear
I will wear full coverage foundation.
Just, like,
to work.
You would, like, fully like, the thickest, like, concealer.
Oh my God, you were snatched.
Yeah, I was, like, in full drag, like, every time I, like, went into
you were in full beat. You were ready for the gig at any moment.
And I lived.
Like, and
I was like, I never felt more beautiful than, like, when I...
And you were blonde.
I was blonde when you met me.
You were you were, like, white blonde, like, curly, like Marilyn Monroe, snatched for the gods.
You met me at a really, like, mentally unstable part of my life.
And I live, and same here. Like,
we live. That's why we connected so beautifully. But yeah, ditto. When Saku and I first met, I had, like, just a couple months previous, like, decided to, like, bleach my hair platinum blonde by myself at home.
Oh, do you mean you're, like, gorgeous, essentially virgin, essentially like hip length, thick hair? You decided to bleach that.
And I did it, and it worked, and it was wonderful, and I'm still paying for the consequences of that decision. But it was also the season that I decided to start wearing makeup. So yeah, it all kind of happened, like, all at once. for me. And
she became a beauty influencer.
yes, but just for
overnight.
me. Just for me and for the people at work.
But just for you. Just for you in the mirror in the morning. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel.
We're gonna start with,
get ready
we're
with
not
me.
gonna put any primer on because fuck the primer. It's just gonna melt my makeup off. Yeah, but I like also like when I was doing makeup, like I didn't have any kind of like skincare routine to care for the fact that I was putting all this shit on my face.
Oh, interesting. Okay, what were you using to remove your makeup
like
every night? Like wipes?
No. I'm pretty sure I was just washing
What
it
was
off
she
with like
doing?
whatever face. Oh, I was using like Biore. Like face wash. So I was literally just like taking like my face wash and using it like soap to like wash away the makeup.
Your full coverage
so
foundation.
I would do that and then I would do another wash like once I got the makeup off just to, you know, make sure I'm unclogging the pores.
Yes.
And that was my idea of like a solid skincare routine. That was even like,
so are we talking about like the charcoal?
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
okay.
You're like acceptable.
Fair
acceptable.
enough.
Yeah, Biore, amazing. Yeah, Biore, like not actually. I'm being entirely like sarcastic right now, just for people listening.
Yeah, the strips, don't use them.
No, the strips
people.
also just didn't work. Like
it's
all
lies. Yeah, don't use them.
It didn't pull
They're
shit
not
out of my
good.
nose.
It's truly.
But anyway, and then the pandemic started, right? And then like we didn't have to be anywhere. I didn't have to go anywhere. Didn't have to do anything. So I stopped wearing makeup, and then I got very used to seeing my natural face again, which is something that I hadn't seen in probably like more than 10 years, because even though I didn't start doing like full coverage makeup till about 5 years ago, I had worn like eyeliner at a minimum for like all of my teen life, because my like best feature in my opinion are my eyes. So I was so like anti-makeup that I was like, if I'm gonna wear anything, it's gonna be something to accentuate my like best feature.
We're gonna feature the eyes, honey.
So yeah, it was like my first time kind of without anything, and I could really see like the state that my skin was in. And it took me a while when I stopped wearing makeup to have the nerve to like leave the apartment, like my apartment in Vancouver, without anything on, because it had been so long since I'd left the apartment with nothing on my face, and like no one gave a shit, like no one looked at me. And I think it helped too that at the time, obviously, like a lot of the mask mandates have been lifted in Canada and stuff like that, and people don't wear masks as much anymore. But it was like, you know, full pandemic, so at least I only really had to show the top part of my face when I left. But that was already like difficult. And then when we got pulled back to work, I was like comfortable because the people that I was working with were never going to judge me based on the fact that I wasn't wearing makeup. And then it just became easier. And then I just never really wore makeup again, unless it was like an occasion or we were going out, or Saku and I were going to do like a photo shoot or something like that. And even now, like, yeah, I don't know. I don't feel the need to wear makeup anymore. And then as soon as, like, Saku and I became, like, really good friends, she's the one who, like, started giving me shit for my skin. And she was like, let's start you with this product. Let's start you with this product. Like, you're going to use this to clean your skin. You're going to use this as, like, a toner. You're going to use this as a treatment. And, like, I was like, what does all that mean? But anyway, Sakura got me started on, like, what is now my, like, some nights 5, some nights 6-step like nighttime skincare routine. And it's great. Like I saw like results with just like having a 2-step skincare routine, because Saku worked at a skincare company in Vancouver, a Canadian skincare company, and they make good products. Like they make good products. It's not a good company, but they make good products. And Sakura gave me like a squalene cleanser and niacinamide treatment. So that was like my first kind of introduction, and that was only like 2 years ago, I believe, when that started. So she gifted me these products, and then I became hooked, because even just like a proper cleanser. Oh, because too, what was I using? And then you were like fed up. You were like, you're not using that cleanser anymore. It was a Neutrogena, like, what's the chemical? It starts with an S. It was like really like.
Oh, it was a. I think it was a salicylic acid.
It was a salicylic acid, and I was using it morning and night, like every single day.
That was That was my like youth trauma. I saw salicylic acid cleanser and I was like,
No.
absolutely
She made
not.
a trip downtown Vancouver. She was like, absolutely not. She was like, it's not even your birthday
like,
or Christmas, but you're gonna start using these cleansers now.
This is happening.
And it's great. Yeah. So I started using the squalene cleanser and I started using the niacinamide, and already like that was such a huge thing for my face. And then when I moved to Japan, that's really like when I think I was like, okay, we're gonna upgrade. We're gonna really get into it. And now, yeah.
It truly, because you start saying some brands and some stuff that you've gotten, and I'm like,
You were
oh
like,
shit,
I didn't even
like she's
tell
getting
you about
into
these.
it. I was like, okay, like, yeah, she's getting into it. And yeah, so with you now being in Japan, what are you kind of noticing are the differences between what skincare is more focused on in the West versus what skincare seems to be more focused on in
That's
the
a good
East?
question.
Because I have my ideas. So we have limited access to to Asian skincare and Asian beauty products here in North America. You can usually only find them in I guess like grocery store like grocery stores, like if they have a beauty section, like TNT
H-Mart,
here. You know, like they might have a small beauty section unless it's like a really, really high end Asian brand like Shiseido or something like that. You don't have access to just kind of like drugstore level Asian products unless you are close to like a TNT or something like that.
Yeah.
But I do have a little bit of access to it. What I personally see, and this is just my personal opinion, I see more in North America, people's concern is more like anti-aging. It's more like wrinkle based. Whereas I see in like Asian skincare, it's more about like brightening and like whitening and like evening the color of your skin and potentially the texture, but not so much focused on wrinkles. Obviously, Asians and Westerners age differently, so I don't know if like that's it, but obviously with Shiseido there's like tons of products that are geared towards wrinkling, but the products that I see like on the shelves seem to be more towards brightening and like the glow effect over top of wrinkles.
Yeah, the whitening.
What do you think?
There's definitely like a whole thing with like specifically like they call it like brightening products, but what they mean is whitening products.
But it's bleach. It's bleaching.
That's definitely like a
let's not
whole
lie to
category of
ourselves.
skincare here, and like it's in sunscreen here, it's in like the toners and moisturizers, it's in everything. And but you can also get so many products that don't have that. And I think like what I've noticed more than anything else is that a lot of the products here are geared towards hydrating your skin. And I think that that's so the opposite of what it's like in North America. Because as we've already just discussed, like with our teenage like, trauma with just trying to dry your skin out as much as possible. Maybe that works for white people. Like, I don't know. Like, maybe that's just the way that it is for their skin. But I'm just like,
I don't
think so. Like, I think that if anyone agrees with that, they're lying. But like, I don't know. Like, that's just the way that it is. Like in Canada and the U.S. and just like North America is just like.
Because honestly, yeah, that's interesting that you say that, because I will use some products that are like obviously for white people that are like ultra hydration. I'll use it and I'm like, who is this hydrating?
Yeah, you have to put like 10 layers
like,
of it on your skin, and even then it's like sitting on top of your skin, like it's not sinking in.
Because I know that like Asians have like denser, firmer skin, which is why we like don't like age the same way. This is just what I was told by a doctor. I went one time to see if I could get filler, and he like he was like squeezing my skin, and he was like, honestly, like your skin is way too tight. Like, I don't think so. Like, you can, but it's going to be like crazy for you to like be able to do that. So yeah, maybe like Caucasians have thinner skin, so moisture is can like penetrate their skin easier, so they don't need as much.
Yeah, it's more like
perhaps
it has like maybe like more elasticity.
We're just starting rumors. Caucasians
have you heard
thinner
about the
skin,
Caucasians?
so
But I guess like that's what makes things complicated too, right? Because Sakura and I are like we're mixed. Like Sakura maybe doesn't have as much like to go with regards to like she has like more Asian skin than the caucasity. Like I don't know. No, I'm just talking about like your type of skin, like in regards to like what you've managed to inherit. Whereas like I don't know, maybe I've inherited like more of like an equal like more caucasity. So I don't know, but it's like taken definitely like a little bit of experimentation, because I also used to equate breaking out after trying a new product with that product doesn't work for me, and I've had to learn on my own to be patient, because regardless of what that product is, you're going to break out. And I think that it's like I think, what do they call it? They call it like detoxing. So like once you introduce like a new product to your skin, it like detoxes like whatever its purpose is. And so it causes you to break out. And so that usually happens to me anyway. Like I'm not saying that as a rule. Like obviously ESID, every situation is different. Like all of your skin are going to react differently to different things. But for me, I know that I always break out when I introduce a new product to my skin. And it's taken me some time to move away from the mentality of like, that doesn't mean that that product doesn't work for me. I just have to try to use it regularly enough to determine whether or not this is going to continue and it's actually bad for me.
Totally.
If it's just trying to detox my skin. So, but yeah, so in Japan, I've noticed that there's like a lot of products that are more gentle. And a lot of products that are more geared towards hydrating your skin and like skin plumping and like dewy look. So
lots of collagen,
lots of like vitamin C serums for your skin, which I think
vitamin what? C. Oh, I thought you said Z. I'm like, are they like squeezing Gen Zs and like stealing their youth?
You like put a drop on your face and it goes yes.
You're yassified instantly.
No, like the vitamin C serums that's never something that I've ever seen before. I don't know, like maybe it's because in Canada I was never really into skincare, but I've never seen that before, but it's everywhere here. It's like an ancient like Asian skincare secret.
Yeah, it's used for like skin brightening and for breaking up pigmentation in skin. It's really popular in North America because like not a lot of Caucasians protect their skin against the sun. Yeah. And so it's really, really popular to try to break up sunspots. Right. So we had lots of vitamin C, different levels of vitamin C serums at the skincare place that I worked at. And our clientele was basically for that product, like blonde Caucasians.
Of course,
yeah. And we'd always tell them like, okay, if you're going to use this product though, you have to start using sunscreen as well. And they'd be like, but I just like, I don't want to. Or like, well, girl, like, I think this vitamin C ain't gonna do nothing. I think
introducing sunscreen to my morning skincare routine has definitely changed my life a lot too.
Sunscreen is it. Sunscreen is the one that's like probably one of the most important parts of your skincare routine is protecting your skin from the sun, especially when you're using active ingredients. If you're using retinol, if you're using vitamin C, anything like that. If you aren't using sunscreen, like, I'm gonna pray for you. I'm gonna pray for your skin. I'm gonna pray for your
soul. I'm gonna pray for your skin. I'm gonna pray for your ancestors, your descendants.
Yeah, no, me and your ancestors will both be praying for you. We're gonna round up. We're gonna round up everyone.
But so I started.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, you make a good point because there's so many different types of hydrators that come out of Asia. There's the snail essence, there's bird nest, there's like bird spit essence, there's like all these different types of things that are just geared towards hydration. That
definitely changed my like perspective on that too. So basically like once I moved to Japan, I started getting into skincare because I discovered someone on Instagram, and her account is called Shit Skin Chats, and she is also mixed race Japanese, and she's mixed with like New Zealand, like Maori and stuff like that. So she
Shit.
grew up with cystic acne too, and she has like a different skin type from me, but she's been so like vulnerable and like honest on her page about her skin. Like she's always posting photos and videos of like her breakouts and like reassuring everyone that it's okay. Like this is what the process is for someone like her. And like that was really lovely to discover someone who is on social media and who is also mixed race, because she knows like what the struggle is like to try to determine what fucking skin you have, like what your skin type is when you have many different types of genetics to kind of like sift through when you're trying out different products. And I saw something that she posted that was like talking about how good skincare comes with knowing about your skin's pH. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, I've never thought about like the surface of my like skin in general being like an active like this is gonna sound gross, but like a habitat almost, like because there's so many like different organisms on your skin, on your face, that are like working for different reasons. And so to think about like your skin, like especially the surface of like your face having like a certain pH level, and talking about how breakouts have to do with like a disruption in the pH level. Your pH level is not like balanced, it's imbalanced, it's too acidic, it's not acidic enough. And like that really like made my brain like turn gears. Like I was like, holy shit, why does that make so much sense? And then I started to like listen to more of her stuff, and she has different skin type than I do, but the products that she's recommended have worked really well for my skin type. Like a lot of the products that I've told you about like are things that I found on her page. And she's the reason that I know like what order to use products in, and stuff like that. And so it's lovely too, because she used to like make so many trips to Japan pre-pandemic, and she made another trip to Japan recently because her Oji-chan passed away. So she was like in to like support her like Oba-chan, and like she was like going to all the drugstores here, which is nice for me, right? Because I'm like, okay, cool, now I know where to find these products and what they are. And she was like, yeah, so I like, because of her, my skin is where it's at right now, and my skin has like never been better. It's like so good. And it's just like, I think for some reason having a scientific explanation for why my skin was reacting the way that it was, and why my skin has broken out so much in my life, like having to do with like trying to balance something, because I'm a very like rational person. I like need to know why. Like I need to know like the explanation. And so for me, I was like, oh, well, that makes sense, because now I can fix it. Now I can work with that. And so it made sense then, everything that she was talking about after, with like, she likes to do a double cleansing at night with like a water-based cleanser, and then with an oil-based, or first oil, then water, then the toner, and then your like, your essences, and then your sheet mask if you're going to do a sheet mask, your essence, your moisturizer, whatever. And I was like, holy shit. So yeah, so my nighttime routine consists right now, because of her, I use an oil-based cleanser from a Korean company called Hanskin, Hanskin, and I think it's like BHA more focused, like with BHA cleansing. And that's good to use the oil cleanser first, because she explained to me, or she explained to us, her followers, she explained to me specifically, she was explaining that,
I was like, okay.
she was explaining that like the oil cleanser gets like what's on the surface of your skin off, so like anything that's like bacterial that is oily off of your skin. And the water-based cleanser will get like sweat off of your skin, like the dirt that comes from sweating off of your skin, like dead skin. And I was like, that makes so much sense to do the double cleanse. And it was funny because as soon as I saw her post about it, I thought about Sakura, because I was like, I know that Sakura has the water-based cleansers and the oil-based cleansers, because when I lived with her,
You know she double cleanses.
I saw, like,
with all the makeup I wear.
Well, there's just so much, like, skincare stuff, because Saku's, like, the best with skincare. Saku has, like, some of the best skin that I've ever seen in my life, by the way. Just, like, just saying. But, yeah, so we do the double skin cleansing, and then I do a toner that is from CosRx. That's supposed to attack. We do love CosRx, and many of my products are from CosRx. So I do a CosRx toner that is specifically for, like, blackheads, because I just, like, my nose is just constantly, like, peppered like a strawberry, and it's so much better now, but it's, like, better because I use these products. And then I go in with the niacinamide. I, like, ran out of the stock of niacinamide that I brought with me from Canada, so I paid, like, literally an arm and a leg for, like, 2 baby-sized bottles of the niacinamide to get it shipped to my apartment. It's worth it. It's fine. I love it. I love it enough that, you know, we'll see. They don't sell niacinamide here, so it's just kind of like, it's too harsh for the Japanese skin, you know? So I go in with the niacinamide, and then I go in with my, I do a sheet mask every night. I just do. It just makes me feel really nice. I love that. To take time for yourself. So I do a sheet mask. When I take that off, I, like, take the time to brush my teeth so that I'm not, like, wiping off the shit from the mask and, like, letting it sink into my skin. And then I go in with a snail mucin from CosRx, which is fantastic, by the way. And then I go in with my hydrator. So the hydrator that I used is a Japanese product, and it's like a 5-in-1 product. It's like the secret of, like, all the obachans, like, will tell you about this product, because it's, like, generation's secret. It's from a company called Hada Lobo. And it's been around for forever, and, like, all the obachans, like, use it because it's, like, easy if you're, like, feeling lazy, you don't want to do all the extra steps. It's like a 5-in-1, so you don't have to do your essences, you don't have to do the extra stuff, because it's all in there. And so I forget what it's called, but it's like the Gold Premium. So I have the night mask version of it, which I use during the winter time, which is really great because it gets really dry and it doesn't feel that heavy during the winter time. But now that it's, like, warmer, it's humid, I'm using just, like, the regular, like, everyday version of the Gold Premium stuff. And it's just great. Like, it's awesome. It, like, heals my skin. And that's, how many steps was that? That was 2 cleansers, a toner, the niacinamide, the mask, the snail mucin, and the hydrator. That's 7 steps. And then every, like, couple days I'll introduce an exfoliator before I do, like, after my cleansers and before the toner. And the exfoliator that I use is a Japanese, like, it's very popular in Japan to use, like, fruit peels, like, not actual like peels from fruits, but it's like for your face, like, it's like a jelly peel.
The acids.
It's like,
the acids from
right,
the fruit.
yeah, it's like AHA, BHA. It's kind of disgusting, but it's so satisfying. So you, like, it's very gentle, as is on par with a lot of the Japanese skincare products, but it does the trick. So you, like, put a couple pumps of the gel into your hand and you rub it on your face and you leave it there for, like, 3 or 4 seconds. And then you just, like, rub and it balls, like, the product, like, the gel will ball, like, as you're rubbing it, because it's, like, getting rid of all the, like, dead skin cells on your face. It's, like, disgusting, but it is so satisfying. Like, the end of it, when you wash it all off of your face, your skin is so smooth and beautiful. But that turns it into, like, an 8-step skincare routine at night sometimes.
Right.
But my morning routine is way easier.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I love it. It's like, my skin has never been better, and that makes me feel really good about myself, and
I love that.
Yeah, it makes me feel like I'm doing something for me, so.
Yeah. And you talk to your dad quite a bit. Do you talk to your dad on, like, video call?
Yeah, we do video call.
Yeah, does your dad ever comment on the way that your skin
No.
looks?
But I think, like, my dad's been taught by his very lovely, like, partner to not comment on things like that for me, because you just
Sure.
shouldn't, like, comment on your children's, like, appearance and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
fair
Like,
enough.
yeah, thank God for, like, Nicole. Love you, Nicole. But yeah, like, obviously it would be nice now because, like, my skin's great, but, like,
Well, that's what I'm saying, like, as like a positive
right, yeah.
thing.
Yeah, I think that he's just
Like,
been,
not as a negative
no,
thing, like, because your skin looks
yeah,
so good.
but I think he's
like,
just been
for
taught, like,
him,
by Nicole now that, like, these are just things that you
yeah,
shouldn't comment on with your, like, children.
gorgeous.
So, but yeah, I'm sure that he's noticed and, like, or maybe he doesn't because he's a man and, like, you know, men just don't, like, notice shit like that.
Because he's a straight
man too, yeah.
Yeah.
He's a straight man in his 50s, so, you know,
So,
it's just not something that they notice. But yeah, he notices at least that, like, I don't have cystic acne. And, like, I have, like, ranted to them both, like, about my new skincare routine. And, like, Nicole is, like, so interested. She wants to know more. She wants to, like, get some new products and stuff like that.
she sees that plum skin and she's like, yes.
Yeah,
She's like, sign
she's
me
all
up.
for it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I love that for us.
what's your skincare routine?
So currently my skincare routine is a double cleanse. I use a speedy oil cleanser. It's a really popular one out of Japan, I'm pretty sure. And then I use the squalene cleanser from The Ordinary as my my water-based one. And then in the morning I do a peptide serum first, followed by a hyaluronic acid serum, followed by a little retinol around the eyes, and then I finish that off with some chia seed oil. So it gives me that kind of like dewy,
Yes.
kind of like glossy effect. Yeah. So that's my morning skincare routine. Sometimes if I'm not doing the chia seed oil, I'll just use a water-based hydrator like a CeraVe. I really like Burt's Bees hydrators, and those are nice because they're all natural. And then in the evening, I do a double cleanse. Even if I haven't done like makeup that day, I'll still do a double cleanse. But for the evening, I'll start with my peptide serum, but then I'll use a retinol serum after that. And then I'll follow with a retinol eye cream. And then a heavier night cream, usually water-based. And then I'll put over top of the night cream rosehip oil. Rosehip oil has a natural amount of vitamin A, which is what retinol is made out of. So it just kind of like boosts it a little bit. So it's pretty simple. It's like nothing too crazy. And then I will do a sheet mask at least like twice a week. And the sheet mask will go on. I won't use retinol that night because I'm never quite sure how the retinol is going to interact with the ingredients in the sheet mask. So I'll do like my peptide serum, then the sheet mask, and then follow with my hydrators. So it's pretty simple. Like it's not like too crazy.
Obviously, if you're not
Yeah.
like at the moment like someone who is like into skincare and stuff like that, that sounds like a lot from both of us. But it's like, I think like once you, I don't know, like
We're like, that's
it's so easy, it's so simple. We are only using like 7 or 8 steps every night.
I mean,
Yeah, no.
but it's it's interesting because like my brother obviously is Japanese as well. And being a part of the Asian community, guys, the beauty standards, we've talked about
Yeah.
this before, the pretty much the same as women in terms of what your skin and your hair is supposed to look like. So even he has at least a 4-step skincare routine.
Yeah, that's
So,
pretty good. It's pretty damn
yeah.
good.
Yeah. I'm sure if you're like, not Asian, that would like sound like a lot, but
Yeah.
it's crazy. I see it all the time. Like there's so many things that are geared towards men that are like a 2-in-1 or like a 3-in-1, like a face wash plus a shampoo plus like a body wash. Like they need like all the help they can get. Shit needs to be like condensed into like one product that they can use for like everything.
It's too much.
Where I feel like, I feel like for us, we have like every product has one specific purpose and there's like 500 of them.
Yeah.
My bathroom is just all glass bottles, just like everywhere.
Yeah, I have to build like a new shelf in my bathroom because I don't know if
we love a skincare
those
shelf.
of you who like live in Japan, you know, like the struggles of having like a vanity, like it just doesn't exist. So I have to like
I was like,
what vanity? There's none. But I've ran out of like all possible like sink area like space, which wasn't a lot to begin with, but yeah, it's like all over the place. I have to like build myself a little nook, a skincare nook. Yeah. I also like.
I love that. We love a skincare nook.
Do you use pimple patches ever?
I've never used pimple patches. There was this product from Mario Boretsky or something. They sell it at like Urban Outfitters. It had this like little liquid that had like a white powder in it, and it was a spot treatment for drying out pimples. That was bomb. I loved that stuff. But yeah, never used the pimple patches.
I found like a specific type of product that's very like popular in Japan is anything with cica in it, like CICA, cica. CICA. Okay. I have no idea what it actually is. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be like a plant essence, but it's in all kinds of products over here. It's like all the rage. But when I was in Osaka, I went to Osaka, by the way. When I was in Osaka, I went to a Korean skincare place because I was like, hell yeah, I'm gonna find me some like CosRX shit. Yeah, I'm like gonna get all the skincare shit, and they happen to have some products with cica in it, and one of them were like pimple patches, because right now in the skincare community, pimple patches are like all the rage. Some people have like the fun ones with like the stars and shit, but I've never tried them before. I've always been very bad about like picking at my skin and shit like that, but I bought them on a whim and I'm in love. It definitely like is a good way to prevent me from picking at my skin.
At them?
So if I notice that I have like even one that's like 30 layers beneath my skin, like I can feel the bump forming, I'll go and get it.
Yeah.
And just toss it on overnight. And then when I wake up in the morning, the swelling is not only smaller, but it's brought a lot of the shit to the surface. And then I'll just pop another one on like on top of that, and it just draws out like all of the toxins into this tiny little pimple patch. Like I'm currently, as Saku and I are talking to each other, I'm wearing 2 pimple patches because I like, there's one like here, like on the side of my nose, and then I have like a really big, I had like a really big bump one like on my chin the other day, and I like picked at it, and then I was like, no, Ashley, we're not doing this today. We're gonna throw a pimple patch on it. And then I woke up this morning.
Oh my god! And you used your Caucasian name too, so you know.
Well,
it's
listen,
serious.
in Japan,
you were like Ashley.
Surprisingly, in Japan, I'm Ashley. Yeah.
I mean,
it's just, you know.
We had a feeling.
Yeah, it's okay. the rejection of my Japanese ancestry, it hits hard. But that's okay.
It hits hard.
Anyway. But yeah, so I woke up this morning and like the like big bump one. It was nice. It was like I could see like a visible difference, and I'm in love with them, and I will continue to use them. Just as someone who like,
I love that.
Because I broke out because I've introduced a new product to my morning care routine. Right. So it's just, we're going through the motions. We're detoxing. We're getting into it all over again. But yeah, pimple patches. Highly recommend.
Well, I'm going to look into that. I switched to a stronger retinol, so I've been like breaking out everywhere. So I'll look into it.
Thank goodness we both wear masks. No one has to witness our pimples, but also
we're both still masked.
Pimple pride.
Truly.
Speaking of pride, happy Pride season.
Happy Pride season.
We will be doing another episode. Oh, we have a really fun announcement for you guys. I think it's only been like a month since our last episode, right? Like a month or so. Maybe like a little over a month. We are intending on posting like a new episode every month for you guys. So you can look
Yes.
forward to some regular content from your girls again, unless there's like something
Yeah.
crazy that happens and there's a delay. We will be working on getting you one episode every month. That's what we're pledging to you today.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's exciting. I meant to put that at like the beginning of the episode, but it's okay.
Yeah.
So if you've been kind of just like teetering on just like, oh, like, man, like being like, I get it. Like I get the feeling where you're just like, I don't know what I can expect from these creators anymore, but we are slowly getting our shit together. And
Slowly.
we're working on it. And
Yeah.
so we pledge to you right now that the Hafu It is back, and we will be back for
In full
swing once a month on Mondays instead of Wednesdays. Our old day
Yes.
was Wednesday. Mondays at 10 a.m. Pacific time. In Japan,
Yes.
that equates to Tuesday. Tuesday, like super early in the morning, so it'll be ready for your morning commute in Japan on Tuesday. So this episode is actually coming out on my birthday, Japan time.
No.
But it won't be my birthday in Canada. But it'll be Monday, Canada time, but my birthday in Japan. So very special episode.
Gorgeous.
But yeah, I just
Yeah.
wanted to like share that you guys can expect some regular content from us.
Some more stuff.
And if you liked this episode, please do let us know. We talked about mixed hair before, so we wanted to get into mixed skin. Feel like it only makes sense, especially now that both of us are pretty regular on our skincare routine now, and we have something to talk about.
Right.
And yeah, it's very important.
Yes.
But yeah, if you have any like questions about skincare, you want to like talk about it, you want to send us pictures, you want us to post pictures, let us know. We will get on there.
Let us
Also,
know.
highly recommend following Shit Skin Chats on Instagram. This is not a partnership, but I love her so much.
This is not a collaboration. Not
but
yet. Not
if
yet.
you're looking for like more in-depth information about like the pH levels, about like what the order is for your morning care versus your night care routine, you can either message one of us or you can go and you can follow Shit Skin Chats, our New Zealander.
I love that.
Hafu.
I love that.
We're
The power, the Pacific Islander.
She's like
The
big
Pacific-
time Pacific Islander.
No, this is what I'm saying, like Asian plus Pacific Islander.
Amazing. Yeah,
Next
she holds a
level.
lot of power, so
This is what I'm saying. Yeah, her power is like
it's too
one
much.
of the highest for
Yeah,
sure.
highly recommend.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in with us today. We will see you
Yeah.
next month when we will be talking about Pride.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our next month episode will definitely have to be a Pride one.
So get on board, and we will
Yeah.
see you on our
Yeah.
Pride boat in 1 month from now.
yeah.
And
So if you guys want to hunt me down on social
Hunt her
media,
down.
you can do so on Hunt Me Down, Let's Be Real. These people are savage. If you guys want to hunt me down on social media, on Instagram, I am saku.miki. I am on TikTok.
Yeah.
I am the Proud Asian, and I will soon be on Twitter as well as the
Ooh.
Proud Asian, hopefully. There might be numbers after that, but hopefully I'll be able to get the Proud Asian. Yeah, like I'm going to start putting out some more content relating with the Asian community, obviously, but a little bit more, I'm feeling like comedy based.
yes.
I'm kind of feeling my funny bone a little bit. And I think I might start making some like funny, more comedy based content based around the Asian community and stuff that we experience.
Queen.
So yeah, just keep your eyes open
Hell
for
yeah.
that.
So now's the best time to be following and hunting down our girl Saku across those social
Truly.
media channels. If
Hunting season is open.
hunting
Let's
season
do
is
this.
open. You don't have to hunt me down, but if you want to find me on socials, you can find me on Instagram at This Is Kiyoko. Or I'm also on TikTok, same username, and I don't go on Twitter, but if you want to give me a follow there, you can. It's This Is Kiyoko across all platforms. And if you just want to follow
Gorgeous.
the general podcast account, we are the Hafu It. But I believe on Instagram we are just Hafu It. Just
Hafu
Hafu
It,
It. At
yes.
Hafu It. And yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We will see you next month.
We'll see you next month.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.